Good morning, fine people of Bondwell and the Bondwell greater area. I greet you this morning as one who comes from the time of Jesus. Many called me Legion, but that is not my name. And indeed, you need not know my name. My name is not important. I was from the area of the Gerasenes. You know the land of Israel. You can picture on a map in the north, you have the Sea of Galilee in the region of Galilee, and in the south you have the region of Judea, where the capital of Jerusalem was, where Bethlehem was near it. And when you would move from Jerusalem to the east, you'd find the Dead Sea. And then going north from that would be the Jordan River going up to the Sea of Galilee. Well, up there at the very south part of the Sea of Galilee, on the eastern side of the city, just south of there, was where I grew up, in the Gerasenes. And my life was like any other young boy. Had my family. You can imagine how I enjoyed going fishing at the Sea of Galilee. Helped with the various activities at home, began working to take care of life. But then something happened. Something happened to me. I really didn't know what it was, but I felt like I was being moved to do things that I didn't want to do. Things that weren't good. Things that were bad. And as time went by, it got worse and worse. And it was so bad that the authorities in the city, they locked me up. You can imagine how it would be with anyone that was a threat to the children, to the wives. They would bind me in chains and shackles, but nothing could hold me. I had a strength I don't know where it came, and I'd break those shackles. And by this time, I was completely out of my mind. I mean, I was in my body, but I didn't understand what was happening. I mean, when I'd break the shackles, I'd go out in the desert, I'd tear all my clothes off, and I'd keep them off. And I would come back into town, and they would take and shackle me again, and put chains around me. And again, I would burst them, and I would take rocks and bruise myself. I'd go and live in the tombs where the people were buried. You can imagine how the parents were scared. They wanted nothing to do with this naked, wild man. And so even though they tried many times to shackle me and put me in chains and control me, nothing could hold me. I can't tell you what it was like being me in my body, tormented from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, never at peace, never being able to interact with anybody. It was like it would never end. It was like it was forever. It was terrible. And then he came. And then he came. This one sailing south on the Sea of Galilee. He got out of the boat, and I do not understand what propelled me to go and come to him and bow before him. And then he said to those who were in me, "Come out of him, you evil spirit." And the evil spirit within me cried out, "What have you to do with us, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God?" And Jesus asked him, "Who are you?" And he said, "Legion." For there were many demons inside of me. And he cast those demons out of me. They begged him not to send them to the abyss, but rather into the large amount of pigs that were there near us. And he did. I don't know why he did that. It didn't make sense to me why he did that. And they went and drowned in the sea. But I can tell you this. I have never experienced what came to me that day. Release from my torment, release from my pain, release from the struggle within me. He gave me peace and the compassion that he had towards me. He cleaned me up. He gave me clothes. And we began to talk. And when people from the town came and they knew who I was, they couldn't believe their eyes that not only was I clothed, but I was in my right mind. And you can imagine as he went to get back in the boat how I wanted to stay with him. And so I begged him that I could go with him. But he said, "No. You go back to your home. Back to your home. To my family. The family that wouldn't interact with me, would have nothing to do with me. Go back to your home and tell them the great things that God has done for you." And so I did. I went back home and shared with everybody in the town what this man Jesus did for me, how he freed me from the evil ones and into the towns around about. But you heard what I heard. Terrible, terrible. That the people in Jerusalem had put this Jesus on trial. And not only this, but they killed him. This Jesus who freed me and gave me everything that I have. Dead. Oh, how sad. Overwhelmed I was at the news. But thanks be to God, we got the news that this Son of the Most High rose from the dead. And we learned that the reason he came from his Father on high was for one reason, and that was to release all of us from the torment of our sin, the guilt of our sin, to forgive us because he took our punishment by dying on the cross, victoriously rose from the dead. And we got the news that before he ascended into heaven, he told his followers, now go and make disciples of all nations. Baptize them and teach them about all that I've commanded. Go. And so I heard that and I remembered how he told me to go. And now I not only tell others about how he released me from the torment of the evil ones within me, but how he came for them, how he came for you. Maybe you're tormented with something in life. Maybe some secret sin. Maybe some family situation, life situation. I can assure you, just as Jesus got out of the boat for me, he got out of the boat of heaven for you. And so we come to him and we give him all of our pains, all of our torment, all of our sin. And he releases us. And he gives us what we need. His peace. And he clothes us with his righteousness. And so, join me in thanking the Most High God that he sent his Son for me, for you. Amen. We receive our offering.